Oh, no. After the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time today. We got to talk about Ohio State. Gene Smith held a press conference in the parking lot for local news following the news that the Big Ten has canceled fall football for 2020 with the expectation that they will play a season in the spring as a conference. Gene Smith said that is the only time he expects Ohio State to play football in the near future. He said, well, listen to him.
So I'm disappointed we had to make this decision as early as we did, but I respect our medical people. I respect the guidance of our leadership, and we'll move forward. So we'll try and deal with it from here.
Gene, are you committed to staying in the Big Ten? Is there any alternative?
Yeah, that's not realistic.
Leaving is not realistic.
Yeah, that's not realistic. You know, we've been a member of the Big Ten for a long time. We share the same values as our member institutions. We all know our history and tradition. I don't need to give you that speech. But yeah, we're in the Big Ten. We're not looking to play in someone else outside of our conference. We have a contract that we're obligated to with our television partners, so that's not happening. We're moving to mentally, we've shifted, and we're looking at the spring as an option. And up until today, it was not an option for me relative to my mindset. But Ryan and I just spent some time talking about the possibilities, and I'm embracing it.
Wow. So here we are having fun with message board RJ, talking about, you know what, Ohio State should just go to the Big 12. So should Nebraska. You know what, 13-team league in a league called the Big 12? Let's add Iowa. Let's make this a party. And then Gene Smith gonna come out here and talk about, yeah, we're members of the Big Ten, and we have contracts that we will honor, and we have the expectation of playing football in the spring. Even as today, nobody knows how you're going to play football in the spring. And what's going to change in the spring? We hope that there's a vaccine that shows up in January that somehow gets widely disseminated, though there are conversations about how that hasn't gone well. And then you're going to talk about having students on campus. And the only way that you could actually make people feel safe about that is if you have enough of those students vaccinated. Cool. But a spring football season would have to start in February, probably not January, because that's when the vaccine is supposed to arrive. But assume it starts in January. Just assume, right, that you start in the middle of flu season. A football season with 10 games is going to take you at least 3 months, which means it runs right through the middle of February. And during February, you have all of your draft-eligible football players that are getting invitations to the NFL Combine. About 300 of them. And I expect most of the draft-eligible players at Ohio State, as they got 10 guys that could be day 1 and day 2 draftees. Then you have the NFL draft itself in April, and in March, you're supposed to go through pro days, which is when all of these kids are on their own meat market once again, looking to sign multi-million-dollar deals. Means that Ohio State, which is what we're talking about right now, there's no Shaun Wade. There's no Jonathan Cooper. There's no Wyatt Davis. There's no Trey Sermon. There's no Justin Fields. There's no Chris Olave. And on and on. There's no Baron Browning. There's no Tough Borland. It's just bad, man. And for a university with such a storied tradition as Ohio State, I feel so terrible for Ohio State fans because we had a shot to get our hands around this. But even if you think that they should play football, for them to not to be able to get out of their contract and go bubble, if that's what they can do, and they want to have that discussion about whether or not the student athletes are amateurs or not, which is a sham, but now it's a sham that's actually biting you in the rear end. Like one of my favorite jokes in Friday. That dog grabbed my behind. Yeah, that's why he likes catching dogs. I don't want to be no dog catcher. And now I got visions of my dad sitting on a toilet talking about, RJ, come in here, I want to talk to you. That's a real thing my dad did. And that's how it feels to be an Ohio State fan right now. You feel like you've been summoned into this bathroom and they locked the door on you while your old man is dropping raw egg deuces and you can't leave. There's so many people that are going to quit college football altogether over this. I'm not kidding, right? There are going to be people that do what so many people did with Major League Baseball in 1994 when they chose to strike, and the owner said, cool, we won't play the World Series then. Y'all have fun with that. And it really, really hurt the game. Then we had steroids and PEDs, and they hurt the game. And now we're in the struggle with baseball, who doesn't know if it's coming or going because it's botched this restart. College football is headed that direction unless the SEC, the Big 12, and perhaps the ACC, Sun Belt, and American can figure out a way for which they think that they can play football. I'm on record with this, man. You know that I don't think it's safe. You know that I think it's a bad idea. I also don't get to make those decisions. If they play football, I'm going to watch them play football. I'm also going to be really upset if someone gets sick. I'm going to get really upset if somebody dies. But the community on this channel has made it very clear that they don't care and they want to see football. All right, let's see if the commissioner supports you. Because right now we're talking about the Big 12 being the swing vote in all of this. Because the feeling is if Bob Bowlesby and the university presidents at the Big 12 decide not to play football, the SEC and the ACC are going to have a hard time. Because the ACC feels like it will have to follow the Big 12 because they got schools in New York and Boston. Okay? Then the SEC would be the last one standing, and that's a lot of weight to carry. I don't know that Greg Sankey and his 14 members would have enough stuff in their neck to try to pull that one off, because you really do risk getting people hurt in a way that is gonna just backfire. Even in a place like the SEC, which is pro football, right? We got Nick Saban coming out saying we should play football. Kirby Smart coming out, we should play football. Lou Holtz is giving stupid analogies about Normandy and saying we should play football. Steve Spurrier called up Pat Dooley and told him, you know what, the SEC and the ACC should just play each other because one of the national champs is going to come out of one of those two conferences anyway. Steve Spurrier, national treasure, nothing but jokes. And that's what we need right now is a little bit of levity, because if the Ohio State Buckeyes can't get out of their television contract, you damn well know that Nebraska can't get right out of theirs. So this is about to get nasty, and it's going to get nasty before it gets better. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.